welcome back to the Metanoia Path YouTube channel with me, your host, Mattias Lilborn. Today, I will actually react to a video that I just recently came up in my feed, and it was quite mundane video, but it's, I think the old man in the video nailed it really good, and he managed to pinpoint certain aspects of modern society and in a very accessible way. So I will play this video now, and then I will play it again, and then I will stop and talk about some aspects of the video and so forth if it's needed. And it's a very short video. And also, I don't know who this old man is. I just came up to this. It just appeared in my Instagram feed, actually. So if someone know who this man is and from what podcast it is, you can put in the comment section. Would be appreciated. Anyhow, let's play the video. Listen to this.
Destruction of the family is one of the key things which we all understand. The authority of the family. Fathers and mothers don't have any authority anymore. The government has authority. Yeah. The family used to be very strong. And modernity has also destroyed the idea of the male and female, the man and the woman. And the modernity has destroyed the home, because before industrialization, the home was a center. The home was a hive of activity. It was a hive of activity where food was produced, the production of food, the production of clothing. It was a social center, and each home was unique. But modernity the industrialization took over your clothing, your feeding, your entertainment. Everything became out there. All the corporations were formed to govern our lives in terms of our whole existence. So what happened to the home? The home became a place where you slept, because the key thing was to go out to work and to make these things. And you had to go out to work, and then the women had to go out to work because they had to earn more and more money, because the modernity to uphold a modern way of life becomes more and more expensive, and you need more and more entertainment, and you need more and more holidays. So what happened basically was that the home was emptied of meaning and of activity, and everything started to happen outside. And the home became a very lonely place for an isolated woman bringing up her child, because there was no society around her.
So now let's play the video again, but this time I will comment on it. So I will pause and comment on the video in certain parts. Here we go.
Destruction of the family is one of the key things which we all understand. The authority of the family. Fathers and mothers don't have any authority anymore. The government has authority. Yeah. The family used to be very strong. And modernity has also destroyed the idea.
So yeah, just in the start there, yes, of course, this is a very fundamental problem we have in our society, that we have given up parenthood to the elites, to the authority, and this began quite early, actually, especially here in the West. So the nuclear family, actually, that wasn't the way of the ancient. It was that the whole community, the whole society, and the closest family to the parents were in a community with each other and helped out, and everyone had the purpose. It's not like today, like your grandmother or granddad just getting shipped to a elderly home, but they actually had a purpose all the way to their grave. They were a big part of the raising of to raise the children and so forth. And they had the purpose, and they had the wisdom, and so they didn't get they weren't just a product that got like consumed by the family, and then when it's no use, just throw it on the pile, so to say. And this is really dangerous, to let the system have the authority over the family. The system should not have any authority over the family. And as I said, the nuclear family is not from the olden days. It's actually quite is quite recent, from socialism and so forth, and in the industrialism, that nuclear family was becoming the norm in the Western civilization. So let's continue here.
Of the male and female, the man and the woman. And the modernity has destroyed the home, because before industrialization, the home was the center. The home was a hive of activity. It was a hive of activity.
And yeah, right off the bat there, after the second point there, society completely destroyed the polarity between male and female. This is really, really, really bad, because this is stream out in every part of the society, and it creates conflict between, which is a part of the Marxist ideology, that progression is done by conflict, and that is why this is a key part of pushing this feminism and the disconnect between male and female, and crush the polarity between the both genders, and also inflict confusion about what is a gender and so forth. So they have not that they have just created it's like an equality between male and female. No, they have done the actually even more extreme thing, that they put the female on the top and the male on the bottom. You ridicule the male, and you portray the woman as the authority, the wise, the smart, the nurturer, and you push women into labor and work into the workspace. Not that long ago, actually, before the industrialization, first you put the male in work for bigger companies, and not work for yourself or work for your family and so forth. But actually, you put a male in to the big corporations, the big industries that created things and so forth. And what happened then was that you portrayed working as a liberation for the woman to get her own money and so forth. And this is also degenerative in this context, because you destroy the polarity there as well, that the woman get her own economic growth, own economic freedom, and then you destroy this dynamic between male and female. Actually, two things can be true at the same time. So it doesn't mean that those women that want to work and so forth, of course they should do that, and actually, but in a harmonious society, we help each other, and we have our place in our families, and we do certain things that is aligned with our gender and our capacity and so forth. And this differ very much, but on a really basic level, yes, that is degenerative and fragmenting when you lure the woman out in the workspace, and she will get less time with her children. She will not be in her feminine side and so forth. And it creates a lot of different problems, actually. When you erase the purpose of the person, then it gets very confused as well. So the inherent purpose of the person. So, and I might come back to this, but let's play a little bit more. I go a little bit back so we remember where we were.
Before industrialization, the home was the center. The home was a hive of activity. It was a hive of activity where food was produced, the production of food, the production of clothing. It was a social center, and each home was unique. But modernity the industrial took over your clothing, your feeding, your entertainment, everything. Everything became out there.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a part of this I try to explain. If you, and this is a really good point he makes here, because actually most of the production for the family was made in the home. And instead of making things for the expansion of economic growth and so forth, and for working for another company, another person, or so forth, you did it for yourself, and you did it with your own veneer, so to say, your own unique style and unique uh, capacity to repair your clothes, your shoes, make your food, build your home, and so forth. You didn't have this form of society that relied on external parts and external companies and so forth. Of course, there was some of that, of course, but in most cases, you did everything. You did everything by yourself in the family, in the greater family. With your cousins, your grandma, your grandfather, and so forth. This was the way, and of course there were also, of course, people that worked for the king, in the army and so forth, but that is a part of the community as well, and that's the defense system, so to say. So that's nothing strange. And of course you had shoemakers and things like that as well, but not to this extreme unfruitful way we have now, in this extreme excess. Because when we outsource everything to another family, another person, a company, we start to forget how we do things that are grounded in reality, grounded in the earth, and so forth. And we forget metaphysical principles that is precursors to the material. And so, yeah, you can just think about this very easily, that yeah, if you don't repair your clothes, you will lack the capacity over time to repair your clothes. That's, of course, really simple, but it's nothing that people really reflect about, because they think this is the state of things. That yeah, if I want to repair my shoes, I go to a shoe repairsman, or as we do today, we just throw the shoes away, and then we rely on extreme external parties, like Chinese worker do products very cheap, and then we can just buy a new pair of shoes instead of maintaining the old shoes we have. So this is in every aspect. You can just think for yourself how bad this is. You get the resources are used in a very, very naive way, and a very greedy way. And it's this consumption. We Today everyone consumes everything and everyone. This is the this is the veneer of whole society. This is a crucial part of what it is to be human, is to govern everything around you and handle things around you. And I oftentimes get I oftentimes connect this to hiking, because I do this, and I love this hiking, and be outside, sleep for many weeks and months in a period of time. And there is a lot of meaning when you have to search for your food, for water, make your home, and build your tent, and find a good spot with not too much of effect of the weather, rain, wind, and so forth. And it also managed to downgrade and raise many of the problems when we go back to a very primitive way of living, because you will notice that you will not need physical specific training either, if you do that, because everything you have to do is very physical, and you will move, you will train your body on a very natural way, without needing to have specific time to lift some weights or go to running and so forth. But you will get this very, very natural way. And yes, of course, people ask about don't we need technology and so forth? Yes, of course, but not in this excess that we have in our society today, because the excess of technology is very detrimental to us. And how technology should work is that we will integrate it in a very, very slow pace over long periods of time, and we will consider and we will reflect over how this will affect us and how what it will take from us when we integrate it. And it's worth to integrate this technology on the dispense of something else, because technology in the olden days, you didn't do a distinction between magic and technology. You rather saw this as two parts. It was the two parts of the same coin, so to say. And technology actually in the biblical way of seeing it, in the Old Testament, Cain, the brother of Abel that killed Abel, he was in tradition he was the first that created societies and cities and technology. He was the one that created weapons and so forth. So that's a form of technology, and it's also related to magic, as I said. As I said, and it's also like this: everything with magic and technology, there is always a good and a bad thing about it. And oftentimes, the bad thing will, over time, take over the good things, and it will degenerate and bite itself in the tail, because it's like this, like medication, for example. Most medications will make you dependent on them rather than it will heal in the long run. And if we use medicine and so forth, actually we will make our immune system less efficient. And people often think about, like, yeah, but in the old days people died, and in a very early age and so forth. But that, if you look at the studies, it's not really that straightforward. It's rather that if you there is some technology, of course, that make our life longer, and that is to prevent child death at childbirth, death, and death of the mother and death of the infant and so forth in the early period of the child's life. And that's a very good thing, of course, that we can do that. But so what you can see with that is the main thing was this the early stage of the child, and when the mother was conceiving the child, that was the crucial parts that made people statistically die more often. But this is just in the first stages of the childbirth. And of course, people that got infections and so forth also, and because they didn't have antibiotics at that time. But if they survived that, they lived long and good lives. And also, they didn't have in the old days this modern form of diseases like cancer and diabetes and so forth, because you did eat good food. You didn't eat processed and ultra processed food. You didn't have an excess of food. You were naturally fasting, and many traditions had fasting incorporated in their society. But also, you didn't have excess of food. You had you had limits, and the only people that really had these bad diseases was oftentimes the rich people, the kings, and so forth, and the people with the possibility to eat in excess and be lazy and so forth, because inflammation and so forth in that way wasn't a common thing. And you also see that with antibiotics, you have a real bad consequences of that the bacteria get immune and so forth. So yeah, it's a very extreme measure that has to be in place, because it has, for an extreme situation you need extreme measures actually. And people think, yeah, maybe we can get rid of some of the technology that don't serve our purpose, and so forth. But yeah, you have to go quite far to fix this problem, because comfort, I always say that comfort is a really, really, really venomous poison. It's really afflicting the whole society. Comfort degenerates people, degenerates stuff, and everything around us. When we get too comfortable, we we get sick, we get dumber, we outsource our capacities to technology, to other people, and so forth. And yeah, we get unhealthy. We don't move as much. We don't get the exercise. We don't. We're not that productive, and yeah, it generates the whole whole society. Just take food for example. The processed and ultra processed foods. Yeah, we have it in excess, but it's deficient in nutrients and so forth, and it makes you sick. It makes you really, really sick, and it's one of the main reasons why people get so sick today, with all the inflammations, with the diabetes and cancer and so forth. That is the excess of carbohydrates, of chemical that we shouldn't put in our mouth, and sugars and trans fats and unhealthy fats in excess and so forth. And so society promotes everything that is bad, and excess of vegetables, and vegetables that is sprayed with pesticides and glucosamate and all these really, really bad things that make inflammation in the body and make you sick, and yeah, make you die much, much earlier. And then you get the medicine that will eventually get you even worse. Oftentimes, our goal isn't to get the oldest we can be. It's a good thing to be old and healthy, but it shouldn't be the main goal of life, because it's creating a real crazy cult around living long. So the main goal of life shouldn't be to live as long as possible, but as long as possible with good health. A big problem is that people are afraid of things that is requiring some willpower, strength, and dedication. So people just nowadays take the easy way out, and it's accessible for everyone, and it's pushed upon us by the politicians, by corporations, that the main goal is to benefit from our pockets that we earn from our jobs, that we slave for everyone else, and not for ourselves oftentimes. So and yeah, this is a topic that I can talk on hours upon hours, because this bleed into everything in our society, in our lives. Because just that thing, like you don't have a mother at home and the dad is outside working. Yeah, that's clear. If you don't have that, you will outsource the raising of the children to people that doesn't have anything to do with your family, and you get disconnected with your child and so forth. Before you owned your house, you didn't rent it or loan money and so forth. You owned your house, you had one income, and the mother were at home, taking care of the home and children, and working at home, as I said, with repairing things like clothes and everything like that, making the food and so. Yeah, and had control over things, not like today. You go to a store and you think you buy something healthy, and it's rubbish, complete rubbish. The whole process of hunting your food and skin it and then cook it and eat it and so forth. The whole process, it takes time, it takes effort, physical effort. You have to use your cognitive capacities, then you know what you're putting in your mouth and your family's mouth. So it's yeah. So let's continue. I'm rambling quite a lot here, but there's so much. It's so pregnant, this topic. I do agree with the title that the person that made this Instagram reel had put, that says modernity is slowly destroying the family. But yes, of course it does that. But at the same time, it's already have destroyed the family, and that is something that we have to focus on from now on and into the future, because this is nothing new. This is in a historical sense it's quite new, but in a modern sense it's been there for a lot of years, starting yeah, with industrialization. It started, so it was a long time ago. My voice is cracking up here, but yeah, let's go.
Corporations were formed to govern our lives in terms of our whole existence. So what happened to the home? The home became a place where you slept, because the key thing was to go out to work and to make these things. And you had to go out to work, and then the women had to go out to work because they had to earn more and more money, because the modernity to uphold a modern way of life becomes more and more expensive, and you need more and more entertainment, and you need more and more holidays. So what happened basically was that the home was emptied of meat.
Also, really good point there. We need more and more things, and when we earn more and more money, and to because we're working that much, we need some outlet, and we need some distraction to solve our anxieties and so forth. And we need more holidays. We need it. It's pushed upon us, and it's the only way that we can get this relief and so forth. But yeah, you know, um, again, it's a symptom of the modern comfortable society. It's not coincidence that the more developed country you have, the more depression you have, the more suicides you have, and so forth. It's not a coincidence. It's not surprising. So, and also a main thing is also that he doesn't bring up at the religious aspect of the whole thing. Is, yeah, you can see statistically you can see a very strong parallel between when the religious aspect of the society, and in Western society, that is Christianity, was degenerated and was tapping off, so to say. You can see a really clear line between this, that in the pace that Christianity was downgraded, and when the churches was emptied, you can see that depression and everything with that increased. And today, what we have instead of going to the church on Sundays, many people, the most of the people consume, and the new churches is the big malls, the shopping centers, and so forth. As you know, you can serve two gods. You can serve God and Mammon, that is money. So money is a real poison as well, that make people able to get even more comfortable, and even more excess of distractions and comfort, and even more ways of physical activity. I have actually had people ask me then, when I bring this up, that, yeah, what do you mean? Do we have to get back to the old age, like the medieval period and so forth? So forth? No, of course not. As I said, two things can be true at the same time. We don't need excess of technology, and we need more primitive living. Technology in a certain way isn't needed for our well-being and society, and at the same time we also need it. But as I said, you need to reflect on it deeply before you try even to integrate it into to society, in families, and and so forth. Because if you don't do that, it almost inevitably will turn into its opposite. it will not be of the benefit of the people. And it's also like this, you get dependent also like with medication, like, yeah, that's also a technology. So you get dependent on medicine, you get dependent on technology, and when you're dependent on things, the ones that are in control, they use this technology to control you. This is nothing new. This is this has been a plan for over 100 of years. So technology is a very, very efficient way to control people. And the television is one of those really good examples. There were no distinction between propaganda and the television in every country, wherever you were. It was at the same time that the TV got into the household, at the right same time it was used as propaganda and a way to control people's minds, that put the information out there that is very convincing, and became a norm, a standard for getting your information, and they were controlling the flow of information, and by movies and by news and so forth, they control what the people should think, and so forth. So that is socially engineering and creating thinking patterns in the people and so forth. But again, just to go back to that, what I said about going back to a more primitive way of living. Yes, that is true. We should do that. We should go back to that. I don't see any other solution to that, actually. But we can do it in a very thoughtful way, that we use technology in a very sparse amount, just to use it in a very, very careful way, and only the things that we really need. Because nowadays we just focus on things that we do not need, that is detrimental to us, like entertainment, so forth. Yeah, everything like that. Even if you like it, no, that shouldn't be of any easy access to people. Actually, let's continue.
Meaning and of activity, and everything started to happen outside. And the home became a very lonely place for an isolated woman bringing up her child, because there was no society around her.
So you can see the paradox here, that or the not the paradox, the consequence of liberating the woman. The woman is the one that suffered the most. A single mom, and then you get kids with a single mom, with a dad that maybe isn't there or something like that. And the children will suffer the consequences of that. It's no coincidence either that most of the men that are in prison is people that didn't have a father that were present in their life. So especially men, of course women as well, will be affected of not having a dad or so in the household, but men, that is very crucial. Yeah, maybe I can do a video about that sometime. But right now I think we are up in a quite long video here. So, but if you have any thoughts on this, tell me in the comment section what you thought about this. You can ask yourself, what does this have to do with the mental health coaching and discipline and routines and so forth? It's everything with it. How we live is the main concern. The main concern that we should have in our mind. How we live, how our families is constructed, and how we engage with the world and the circumstance and everything like that. Because this is the main root of mental health crisis, if you want to say it like that, is the lack of the religious aspect. On a more plain level, it's lack of religiosity, worship, and of course bad foods, bad family structure. The authority is not within the family, but it's in the corporation, in the politics hands, and how we manage the elderly, how we manage the children. We outsource things. We get fat and lazy from not working with our body, not thinking for ourselves. We just and when I say we, I paint with a broad pencil here for the for the general public, or so to say. But everyone is conformistic and try to be all the same and follow the norms and the narrative of the elites and so forth. So this leads to a mental health breakdown, and it's not surprising. Bad food causes inflammation as well as on a physical level in the brain, and you will get dumber, you will be stressed out, and you will have a massive pile of consequences. And also how we relate to each other is breaking down, the relationships breaking down. We get isolated, and people get this way of living just to consume everything and everyone. And it is very fragmenting. It creates suspicion, it creates conflict, and you name it. It's bleeding into everything in human experience and life and soul, and in the physical health of the people and so forth. So in the long run, what is planned out for for the modern man is Agenda 2030, which you can read about, and it's is portrayed as a very good and moral and ethic line of things that they want to incorporate, but it's ultra communism actually. So you will own nothing and be happy about that. You will eat GMO foods that it is really bad for you, and you will eat like a animal. You will eat insects. You can see they are pushing all this, and also they will do as they have done in China. They will try to incorporate digital ideas that these ideas will, you will have a sort of a score that manage how good of a citizen you are, and if you maybe, and they will also track your carbon steps, your carbon, your impact on the environment and so forth. And if you're eating too much, let's say you're eating too much meat or something like that instead of vegetables and GMO food, they will give you a penalty that you will not have that much points. And when you don't have points, you maybe will be disqualified to do certain things in society. Maybe you can't go to the store and buy your food, or maybe you can't take the train. And this is a reality in China right now, and they try to incorporate this. And everyone will be a everyone will be everyone will be the same, and they try to mix with all the people groups and so forth. And with mass immigration and so forth, they are already on the way. And then also in the long run, what this will do is they will manage to create a society that is true transhumanistic, and that is that you enhance. Your first step is to enhance people, and after that, you will erase them. Because you won't need them anymore when you have really high tech AI and technology and robotics and so forth, and you have a little small elite that will have a little portion of living human, but they will be, of course, slaves in some way or something like that. Like, yeah, like in the old days, and like they do today as well, actually, offering people up to their demonic gods and entities, and the devil, if you want. I want to say it like that. So, yeah. Anyway, put your thoughts about this topic in the comment section, and please see if you have any thoughts that maybe I didn't express here, and it will be really interesting to see what you guys think and what your thoughts on this is. If you need any coaching services, you can just contact me on my email address, or you just go into my website, mattiaslibon.com. Every information is in the description of this video. If you need some coaching, talk therapy, you need to get more discipline, need to get your routines on point, and also try to figure out your inherent purpose and where is the next step you should take in life, do not hesitate to contact me. I always offer a free consultation. And have a nice day. Bye.